Brian Ritsuno here. Today I wanted to share with you the importance of focusing one thing at a time. And this is really the key to accomplish something significant. And if you continue that for a period of time. And there is a notion like, okay, multitasking and all that. People doing a lot of things, but the nature of such a behavior is generally the not really uh, tell the full story about that person. For instance, some successful people has a many business, um, and as if they are actually controlling everything, but that's not the case. They're delegating pretty much everything. Just put the money inside uh, and then dictating like a really big like policy making. That's about it. But then let's say if you are trying to build something from uh, the grounds up, right? Or you're still in the really beginning stage, not having a lot of resources, or in a top level, what I'm trying to say. Then you have to create something, and then to create, you cannot have a scattered brain to accomplish anything. So. Uh, and you can tell if you are focused or not. So for instance, for me, when I don't quite understand this concept, whenever I do something, I get distracted. TVs or like cell phone, or the concentration just does not last long. Means like after like like a couple of minutes, I gotta kind of look something up, or you know, and then get distracted and then come back, and then that type of a behavior, right? So you're not fully in. And if you are in such a state, just remember that that state is only acceptable when you're not doing anything creative. Means it's like more let's say highest activity that you can do. I'm just kind of for the illustration is that the creation, something you actually build things, and then one of the lowest is just to kind of manually, just people tell you what to do, and then you just kind of move your body, whatever. And then right in the middle is like kind of like a reading, right? Reading or a little passive things. You know the routines, and then you have to have a little bit of brain, but then it's not that much. That type of things. And generally, you notice that when you are get distracted, that means you are not doing the highest activities that you can do. And then you might say like, hey, I have a ADHD or whatever that is. I think most people do, like in a modern sense, right? I'm not saying that clinically, like if you are like truly so, but that would be very surprising. I would say it's very rare. And but then everybody can get into this type of situation, right? Like getting distracted and all that stuff. And if you go to that, that's a doctor, like psychiatrist, and they'll say like, yeah, you're ADHD, and take a pill or do something, and make sure yourself feel better. But then that's just not gonna go anywhere, right? So for me, I was always get distracted, and quality of the work coming out is always low. Study wise, anything I do, it's just low, because you do a little bit, and then when things get like really good, exciting, and then I get distracted, and then just stop. And the next day comes back, and they're doing the same thing, and they just progress is really slow, and you're not really pushing it hard enough to kind of dig into the practice or training or whatever, the result is not really it's not excellent at all. And excellent is actually very important standard. It means is excellent means is like if you present that things to anybody, you can be proud of, and actually people understand that there is a beauty in it. That's the excellence. And so the issue of like this scatterbrain is like once the brain's like focus get all of a sudden distracted, to get back in it takes time. So you actually waste time by doing this kind of stuff. So and then create something significant, you really have to dig into what you do and to take care of the details and put the sometimes complex things together. And then you got to figure out a lot of things. And that takes like a lot of energy and a lot of wondering about your mind. But then at the end of the day, focus is to solve problems. And to do that, you need a chunk of time that you are focusing on those. So what's the time range minimum like you need? I would say minimum is like 30 minutes at least to do something. You don't want to just do like 5-10 minutes. If you are only 5-10 minutes and get distracted, then just get rid of all these things that then you might get distracted, like cell phone out, computer out. It's kind of if you're the work is on computer, then just kill all these apps, and just focus on what you do, and then see how much your work you can actually quality get improved by doing this. So why it's so difficult to doing like focus on one thing? Because we just want to get stimulated. We just want to do a lot of things. And this is just something, the temptation that we always have to fight against. But then it's hard because it's innately, you want to be curious, but the curious means like you want to do a lot of things or you want to know a lot of things, but you got to have a balance. So it's about prioritization, just say, hey, this chunk of time, let's do this, focus. Then after that, you can kind of wander around, have fun, whatever. But when it comes to work, focus. It gets, if you make it as a habit, it gets easier and easier. But I gotta practice. And somebody might say, okay, I cannot sit still and then do one thing, right? If I'm not doing something that I don't like, or maybe I'm not really interested, or what I don't quite important, then I would be exactly the same. I just can't sit still. It happens all the time when I was a kid. I can't sit still in the school. But if you are doing something, right, like creation or something, and then if you cannot focus something, then probably you're not doing something that you really like or interested or have aligned with purpose. Then you gotta really think about finding something. Try something that you really like and then focus on it. It might not be initially, right, relevant to anything. You might not think that's gonna leads to any commercial viability. But you never know. Like if something you are focused on, whatever that is, and if you can do it, and then just take it to how much you can do. Go deeper. And if you're doing this long enough, right? So don't quit and other things like, what gets you up, what you get into it. Don't quit, and then doing it for half a year, 2 years, and then you see if that skill is going to be translated into something else to, let's say, make a living or not that all of a sudden, but maybe um, commercialize, start learning something else to incorporate. But then that's the right type of attitude here. Um, and actually, you can do a lot of things and then still can do a focus. So it's not focusing. It's about like entire life you do one thing. That's not at all. If you do that, you're gonna be very very unhappy, and then your growth is gonna stunt it, because a lot of things are connected, and you got to be as curious as possible. Something completely irrelevant you might thought, but if you're curious, that might give you the key to the problem that you're solving right now. So that's not the focus is not that like you cannot do many things. It's just that when you do something important for whatever get you up, that time you want to protect prioritization in your daily life. So what else is like needed for you to focus, right? So definitely, like the important thing is you really have to find your, in a sense, ambition. You gotta find your goal. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have anything like interested, if you're cynical, then of course you're not gonna do shit basically, right? You're gonna just kind of wander around. Time passes by because you have no direction. So you really have to have those. So think about it. Whatever is better than none. But the whatever could be kind of risky. So make sure that if you don't have anything, then just find something that help others. That generally sets you to the right direction. Help something, if you're musically gifted, maybe practice more, entertain somebody with the music, or create some song, whatever that is. Like you can. When I say help, it's not like helping to just to get somebody up or wash dishes. That's not what I'm trying to say. There's a different ways to, in a sense, help others. Yeah. So the goal of like a everyday life, like if you really wanted to um, uh, bring it to your next level, then what cumulatively per day you want it to have a deep focus for 3 to 4 hours, and that's enough. Uh, there is a Princeton, I believe, professor Cal Newport wrote a book about those kind of focus, and it literally just the 3 to 4 hours a day daily. That's it, and then you can actually take over the world. It means it's like you can be number one. But then that deep focus to do 3 to 4 hours is so hard for most people. Most people probably cannot even focus for 5 minutes. Okay, so just practice. Start with 15 minutes if you cannot do it. Maybe 5 minutes. Put everything aside. Try to do 5 minutes. Try to solve something, create something, put some mental energy into it. Okay, and the next day maybe 11 minutes, and then so on and so forth. Just increase it day by day, and then you don't have to do it more than 3 to 4 hours. If you have to do more than that, then you probably have to really think about change of process. Means like not entire things have to be. That focus means like producing something. So maybe 3 or 4 hours for like creation, and then the other one is more administrative, more like a what I'm saying is like high type of activity is going to be 3 to 4 hours, but then the rest you can actually do it for a lot longer, and then you should do a lot longer. Like the world is not just this like highest. You got to take care of the rest to make things as a whole. And if you get really interrupted by, like, let's say notification. I mean, these kind of stuff are all engineered to distract you. So put that into a different room. That's actually really helpful. Put it into, don't even put it in the same room. Just get rid of it from the room. And and just go to, like, if the family environment is a little chaotic, go to the library. Just find your own space. Figure it out. What doesn't get you distracted? I mean, some people, find that moment in a deep focus between the work. Means it's like they work for a living, and when they have a break for 15-10 minutes, that's the focus that they do. Observe, like read books, and then solve some problems, whatever, to improve. Then go back to work and then do that. And the cumulative, like that's like a 2-3 hours every day. Come back, extra an hour, 4 hours, and then that's how become real successful. So you might get, like, always, like, this motivation is a difficult part. Right? Like, we're gonna hit walls no matter what, no matter who you are. You will hit walls. How are you gonna deal with it? It's gonna be the branches out between the people who accomplish a lot and then people who don't. Giving up is not the option, right? If you give up, of course nothing's going to happen. So let's say you're not giving up, and then whatever you do is still worthwhile. It's just too difficult for you right now. Then what are you going to do? What you can do is to break into smaller pieces. Okay, it means it's like you might be doing too much in a day. Maybe you're trying to do 3 things. Cut into one, and if one is too hard, then you cut into half. And if that half is hard, just try to do just the 1/10 of it. And you should be able to do 1/10. Okay, if not, then you start with a 1/20. So on and so forth. Just continue, and use that focus time to solve that problems, and eventually you're gonna get there. Get there means, like, you're gonna accomplish something. You're gonna progress, and you're gonna break that some sort of, like, obstacle, or figure it out something. You gotta have a lot of ideas. Don't get stuck in one way, right? Yeah. I mean, a lot of people got stuck in one way. It means it's like it's really not a joke, like, how many people, no matter how much their methodology, like tactical things, is so not working, or strategically not working, but then they just imagine that this time it'll work, and they're doing the same thing. It's a gambler's mentality. So don't do it. If one way do it, and they always, like, justify, oh, this time is different. Situation is different. But then you're not changing anything. You're not they're not putting any new insight to it. They don't figure out the how, why, and how. Nothing, no fundamental is changed. Then expect the same. That's a really bad direction to take, and then it's literally wasted decades of time doing the same thing. So make sure that the progress feels slower than you really have to change what you do. I mean, it might hard, but just say, oh, I made a mistake, do something different way, and then experiment with small thing. Don't expect, like, all in first. Test. If that works out, bet bigger. And then that works out, bet bigger. Because this is no longer just a chance, right? Because you made an experiment, and so you know why it works, how it works. So next time it should work. Okay, but then always have to have some sort of, like, a little bit of a resource left in case this doesn't work. But then that type of stuff is quite rare. But then when you put in big. So by focusing on one thing every day for a period of time, oftentimes 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, you will achieve substantial increase in your ability and skills to forge your path. And that is the essence of creating something worthwhile and excellent. And if you do this, the success will just attract you. Thank you for watching. Please share your ideas in the comment section below to help each other, and hit like and the subscribe buttons so you get notified of the next video. See you next time.